Welcome to the first module of Course 1, Introduction to Mental Health and Psychosocial Support. My name is Bryanna. This module provides a foundational overview of what MHPSS is and why it is essential. Whether you are a community health worker, a volunteer, or a clinician, this course will help you understand the holistic nature of well-being. MHPSS encompasses any support aimed at protecting and improving mental and psychosocial well-being. According to the IASC, MHPSS is an umbrella term. It doesn't just mean therapy or medication. It includes any activity from community building to specialized clinical care that helps people stay mentally healthy and socially connected. It's an integral part of health and is determined by socioeconomic, biological, and environmental factors. It's important to remember that mental health is more than just the absence of mental disorders. It's a state of well-being where an individual can handle the normal stressors of life, work productively, and feel a sense of connection to their community. Let's dive into what psychosocial means. It represents the inseparable link between our internal minds and external environments. The first part stands for psychological, which are internal factors such as thoughts, emotions, and behaviors. Social factors are external, like relationships, cultural norms, and community support. They can be positive by protecting mental health or negative by increasing vulnerability. Both sets of factors interact and influence an individual's well-being. We can't treat one without considering the other. Mental health is often determined by the conditions in which people live. So if a person is facing extreme poverty or social exclusion, their psychological distress is a normal response to an abnormal situation. MHPSS must address these social determinants as well to be truly effective. Now we'll take a closer look at how psychological and social factors influence each level of human needs, using Maslow's hierarchy of needs as a guide. First, physiological needs. These are basic biological needs like food, water, sleep, and shelter. Although they are biological rather than psychological, we can't move to higher levels until these needs are met. Social factors determine whether these needs are actually fulfilled, such as access to food systems, clean water, housing, and whether or not people are excluded from these resources. Next are safety needs. When unmet, safety needs contribute to psychological stress, anxiety, and even trauma. From a social perspective, many things shape how safe someone feels or actually is. Living in a conflict zone, being part of a marginalized group, or having or lacking protective institutions like police, healthcare, or shelters. Without safety, both the mind and body remain in survival mode. Then there's love and belonging. These needs are about friendship, intimacy, and family. Social factors dominate here. Things like the quality of our relationships, social structure networks, and cultural expectations around connection and community. But psychological factors also play a key role. Trust, attachment, and past emotional experiences influence how we form or maintain relationships. For some, such as LGBTQ+ individuals or ethnic minorities, experiences of exclusion can deeply impact this level. Next up are esteem needs. This level is deeply tied to psychological well-being. Things like self-esteem, confidence, agency, and resilience. Socially, esteem is shaped by whether a person is respected or discriminated against based on their class, gender, ability, or other identity factors. It also includes opportunities for education, employment, and social recognition. Feeling valued and included is essential here. And finally, self-actualization. This is about fulfilling your potential, finding purpose, expressing yourself, and feeling motivated from within. Reaching this level requires strong internal psychological well-being. Socially, self-actualization depends on supportive conditions, such as access to mentors, peers, or community. It also requires cultural acceptance of self-expression and autonomy, and freedom from oppressive social norms. In summary, while Maslow's hierarchy is often seen as a personal journey, every level is shaped by both internal psychological factors and external social realities. You can imagine it's difficult to focus on self-esteem if you don't have physical safety or food. To support well-being, we need to address both the psychological and the social at every stage of human need. Let's look at Amina. Amina is a 25-year-old woman living on the edge of a busy regional town. She and her siblings were displaced from their home village by violent conflict. They lost everything: their house, their community, and their parents. After weeks of uncertainty, they managed to resettle in a new community. The town they arrived in was already struggling to meet the needs of local residents, and now it had absorbed hundreds of displaced families. The future looked uncertain. At first, the pressure was overwhelming. Amina was now the head of the household. She had to find food, shelter, and safety for her family. And yet somehow, Amina didn't fall apart. Why not? Internally, Amina had always been a determined young woman. Each night, she would take out a small, worn notebook and write down her goals. Amina had learned to breathe deeply during stress, to pray when she felt overwhelmed, to lean on her own strength and recognize when she needed help. And help came from the people around her. Amina joined a women's peer group run by a local NGO. They laughed, they cried, but most importantly, they felt less alone. She also found a part-time role as a peer health assistant at the local clinic. The job paid little, but it gave her purpose. She was trained to speak to new mothers about stress and refer people in emotional distress to trained counselors when available. At her local place of worship, she joined a women's prayer fellowship. Externally, Amina's circumstances were still difficult. She lived in a small one-room shelter. She had no steady income. Her past trauma hadn't vanished, but she had what mattered most. Amina's story reminds us that mental health is not just about treating illness. It's about creating conditions where people can heal, connect, and thrive, not just survive. Now it's time for self-reflection. Think of a person you recently supported. What were their internal feelings, the psychological side? And what were their external life conditions, the social side? You'll likely see that their stress wasn't just in their head. It was tied to their community or family situation. Recognizing this interaction is the first step towards effective MHPSS. Now, let's clarify some misconceptions. Tell me if it's a myth or a fact. Only doctors can provide MHPSS. Right, it's a myth. You do not need a medical degree to offer active listening and compassion. Everyone can provide support. Next, MHPSS is only for people with mental illness. Myth. It's a proactive approach for everyone in the community. It's for everyone's well-being. Very nice. MHPSS should be integrated into everyday life. It shouldn't be hidden away. By providing support where people already go, like schools or clinics, we make it easier for them to ask for help. To summarize, MHPSS is a holistic approach. By understanding the link between psychological and social factors, we can provide care that honors a person's dignity and basic needs. Thank you for completing this first step. In Module 2, we'll look at the specific terminology used to organize our work. See you in the next video.